And now everything we say is, oh, shit.
Hot mic, like Biden. That actually isn't even on the list. But you did see that, right?
Yeah, I looked quick. I didn't get a real good chance to.
It's not on the list. It's the whole Biden thing with it. We were getting right into it. I was just gonna mention, it's like, well, that was a nice trip down memory lane of fucking stupid ass commercials we used to watch. You missed that one.
Yeah, you all missed that one.
The Skittles and berries and cream and trapdoors.
It was Skittles, Starburst, and Snickers.
Yeah.
They probably had, and I'm sorry, but the whole Sour Patch Kids commercials, that was just kind of cheap. You never saw those? First they're sour. Girl wakes up, she goes, she's got pigtails, one's been cut clean off. She goes, first they're sour. And it shows the Sour Patch Kid holding the ponytail and a pair of scissors. Then they're sweet. Drops them and puts his arms up for a hug. I'd have punched that fucker right in his face.
I think I vaguely remember that.
There was a ton of them. There was a ton of Sour Patch
There was
Kids.
like the mid-late 2000s. And actually, right through the early 2000s.
Early into the mids especially. And then they kind of tapered off near the end of the late 2000s. 2000 to 2010.
Yeah. I don't really watch the Super Bowl enough now to know what the new commercials are, so I couldn't tell you. No, but I was talking about the whole Biden thing, which isn't even in my notes, and actually I completely forgot about it until right when I said it. When he was caught on the hot mic saying who was a Fox reporter or someone asked them about the state of our inflation, something about, maybe I'll look it up real quick. And the reporter asked Biden something about the inflation, and Biden on a hot mic said it's like he called him like a stupid ass or something like that, or some shit like that.
Maybe I didn't hear about that one because I thought you were going to reference. He say over the mic at one point when. Hold on a second. Let me give it to you.
Which like all right, yeah. A stupid, yeah, he says Biden caught on a hot mic calling a Fox reporter a stupid son of a bitch. And what the whole thing.
Oh no, the one I was thinking of. I hate to cut you off. The one I was thinking of was when, I think it was about when things started to get better and they started lifting the mandates and stuff like that. The first round, not the second round.
Back in last spring or summer.
Yeah, someone had said something about the inflation of the economy. And he goes, well, it's all about, economy. The way it works, see, is, if you go out and get vaccinated, you can go out and buy. And the point he was trying to make was, because people weren't getting vaccinated, people weren't being able to go out and buy stuff. And that's why the economy was as inflated as
that was during all the crazy, really shaky.
Yes.
Everything. It's like, the way is like to protect yourself from a hurricane, you got to go out and get.
Yes.
That one. That was during. I don't want to get down the vaccine road, but yeah, that was during all that.
No, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No, this one was just in the last week or so, where he was caught on a hot mic saying, like, talking about inflation. It's like, wow, you stupid son of a bitch. He's like, oh yeah, inflation would be a great asset, you stupid son of a bitch. What's funny is, like, a year before that, he roasted Trump for all of Trumpisms when he would attack the press and call them fake news and whatever. And Biden is on record on camera. He's like, if anyone in my cabinet ever disrespects the media like that, you'll be fired on the spot. Fast forward to now, it's like, you stupid son of a bitch. You're like, so do you quit, resign? What happens now? Like, what do we do? I just thought that was a small thing. I thought that was funny.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Now, right off the bat, which has been huge in the news. Actually, there's been a couple things that's been huge in the news. At probably the second big point, more so, but Joe Rogan being attacked again, and on Biden's Surgeon General says Rogan should be censored mostly because a lot of the guests he's had on, like Peter McCullough, he had Dr. Peter McCullough, and then Dr. Robert Malone, and all their controversial opinions or studies or what have you, or published papers on COVID-19 vaccinations and how kids shouldn't get it, and treatments. There's no treatment methods. There's only preventative measures, and but all those are being censored. And then the recent thing with Spotify banning a bunch of his episodes.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah, I did hear about that.
Also, like Neil Young.
Oh,
boycotting
God.
him.
Did you hear what they ended up doing?
What?
They pulled off Neil Young's music.
Yeah, because Neil Young was like, "Hey, I'm either gonna like walk.
You're
You're gonna ban him, or I'm gonna walk."
And they're like,
and Spotify's like, "Have fun."
Thanks.
Well, yeah,
we appreciate your years of dedication to putting your music on our stream service, but
which it speaks a lot. It's like Neil, I was like, you were popular 50 years ago. Like, you know, who are they gonna like? Neil Young's library has what 100, 200 million listens or something on Spotify.
Oh yeah, I wasn't. He doesn't have that many songs. I
mean,
he does have a good following.
Sure, but
of views, I guess you can call
in
them.
comparison, every episode of Joe Rogan that comes out has 11 million. Like every episode that comes out,
and he's got like over 100 episodes.
Over 100. They're what, like 1,750 or 60 something now.
I'm just using the numbers for reference. If Neil Young had 100 million listens, Joe Rogan at a minimum
to match that, he'd have 20 episodes and
10 episodes.
Yeah.
No.
If it was just 100 million, yeah.
100, yeah.
But yeah, just
at 11 million, let's say for argument's sake, at 10 million views an episode.
Yeah.
He would only need 10 episodes.
But just going by that, what do you think Spotify's going to do? Oh no. You know?
Neil, you are the voice of a generation that also believed in shoving hockey sticks up dudes' butts for losing games.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were the voice of a generation.
As of a few days ago, I put that they had they removed more episodes. It brought that number at the time to 42. But now, just a few hours ago, actually, I was looking, and Spotify deleted over 100 episodes of the JRE podcast. It says Saturday that 113 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience, many of the older and recorded before his recent COVID-19 controversy, have been yanked. Among the missing are those featuring well-known conservatives, far-right pundits, or conspiracy theorists, including Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes, Michael Malice, Alex Jones.
Oh, of course. I knew you were going to say his name.
Rich Voss. But this goes even further on this whole thing, which there's been a video circulating around of a compilation of Rogan dropping the N-bomb like a whole bunch of times during his podcast. Or
N-bomb or M-bomb?
Yeah, N. Oh. But obviously, you know, just that reaction right there, you hear that, and you're like, oh.
Well, no, I'm just curious as to what context was it being used?
In context, if you listen to it, it's always talking about, one, they've talked about how that word is really weird. Because if I or you or anybody else uses it, well, that's bad.
Yeah.
But if someone of color uses it, it's fine. Well, and it's been an album. It's been on covers of albums. It's been on
NWA.
Yeah.
The whole group. NWA.
It's been
Niggas with Attitude.
Yeah, it's been on album covers. It's been part of stand-up punchlines and just, you know, songs. How many? We just watched thousands of songs
of Dave Chappelle. You might even find one or two. You know,
but bringing it up, he's brought it up in that kind of context. Like, it's never been used as a derogatory term, calling someone or anything like that. It's just always in conversation.
Yeah,
just as the same as anybody else who's been off camera has ever said it.
The way I just talked about it, you may actually have to bleep that out. This way, this cast doesn't get pulled.
That's probably true.
Because I did say the band's full name.
Yeah.
Which it's a band name.
That's the context it was taken out of. But somebody, and you know this is somebody on a left somewhere going after him, and what they did was take this, all these times he said it, compiled it together, and that was it. So then you put it out there, and of course it's going to look bad. How would it not? You know? How would it not look bad? So that is another thing why I think they went through and probably went to some of those episodes and deleted some of those, because that's not all conspiracy theorists and everything. I saw the name Theo Vaughn in one of the articles I was reading, and if you know who Theo Vaughn is, right?
Yeah, we've talked about him.
So, and he's
Us
not
in general. I don't
he's
think
not a
everyone on the podcast.
conspiracy theorist at all. He's just
No.
like a redneck comedian.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll say I don't think we've ever discussed him on the podcast. I think we've talked about him in just normal conversation.
So yeah, they yanked. There's over 100 episodes now that are taken down. Neil Young boycotts Spotify. He was joined by Crosby, Stiles, and Nash, so they're also boycotting Spotify.
They're gonna get pulled.
Here's the thing, because a lot of these people are older artists. Right after they announced they're jumping on the bandwagon, they announced that they're reforming their group and coming back together. So tell me that wasn't a fucking grab.
Oh, that was such a grab for publicity.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, we're going to jump on this bandwagon. They're going to virtue signal. And suddenly it's like, by the way,
Buy our new album.
yeah, we're going to tour. So I saw that. I'm like, come on,
Speaking
really?
of which,
Like,
Styx is coming to the area soon.
you think they're going
Styx, Billy Idol, and Loverboy.
to... Billy Joel?
Billy Idol. Billy Idol, Styx, and Loverboy are coming into the area soon.
Do you think Styx will join?
No.
What if they do? That'd be funny.
I'm
What if
still gonna
what if
be-
Green Day joins though? That'll put you in a predicament.
See, but being a big fan, being as much of a fan as I am of Green Day, they've always pop punk.
I'm just listening to their music.
No. I don't think they would ever, even when like a lot of artists of our time, like into the mid to the late 2000s, like from the 90s to the 2000s to the 2000 teens, you know, a lot of the artists that we listened to were kind of like, hey, Trump, hey, politics, hey, this and that. You know, Green Day was one of the few bands that would sit there and be like, fuck establishment. We just want to.
I think a lot of bands,
rock.
not so much like anti-establishment. I just think a lot of bands are like, I got nothing to do with this, because that's a dangerous like thing to get into. It's like, oh, pick one side or another. So no matter what side you claim to be on, now you're alienating your fan base. You're like,
one of Green Day's albums, American Idiot,
right,
was all about
the song "American Idiot."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be an American idiot.
One nation controlled by the media, yeah. And here we are talking about
Information hysteria
yeah,
going out to idiot America.
right.
But see, that song, good example. That song is a ploy to, look, if you buy into the bullshit, you're going to be one of these people that, anti-establishment. No, hey, the government's trying to put chips in our brains to control us, or I trust the government and everything they say.
Not yet.
But that's what it is. Like Green Day's songs, even their political songs like that, it's like, hey, wake up, do your own research, and form an opinion of
Put a
your
little
own.
makeup.
Huh? What's that? Space shuttle.
Yeah. Right after those three announced their comeback tour or whatever they're going to be doing, I saw SiriusXM had an announcement they dropped, and it says, "Now seems like a good time to let you know Neil Young Radio is back on SiriusXM after he left Spotify."
Yeah.
So that's just a poll to get their fans back there. What are you fact checking?
I was texting hey, I'm gonna be doing a podcast, so if you have any ideas, go ahead, throw me some texts.
What's the idea?
Well, one of the people that I'm talking to discussed about
Is it him?
maybe. There's no one over there. You're seeing things. Are you? What's in that water?
What water?
Oh man, the edibles are really kicking in.
And then it flashes and no one's actually here.
There was the one point that they brought up was the concept of the government suppressing our evolutions as humans with technology. I think we've discussed that in a previous podcast about how
What?
you know how the government electric cars. There have been talk for the last 30 years of them having the ability to create electrical motors, strictly electric. And now all of a sudden with the Go Green EV concept, electric vehicles. Over in California, they banned all fuel-burning vehicles or whatever it was. Might have been San Francisco or some shit. Like, the point this person brought up was, has the government been suppressing our advancement with technology to kind of limit us and keep us in a direction that they can control? Which, actually, no. We've talked about social media control through the government. But now that I put it in that context, what do you think about that, honestly? Do you think the government has been withholding technology so that they can keep us down this path of controllability, where we only have 5G phones?
Yeah, but that's been readily known for like the last 20-some years, maybe even 30, maybe even longer.
That they've.
I mean, that's just business. That's business model.
Do you think it's a control ploy, a control tactic?
Not for us, but business-wise, yes. That's just money flow.
Touche. And then the other one that they had talked about was the neural chip, the
Neuralink?
in the brain from Elon Musk. Yes.
Right.
We discussed that on a previous podcast.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
That one, I don't know much more about that than whatever headlines and
Yeah,
few
that
articles
was
I've
still
read.
kind of
Because like right now, it's other than the application they're talking about, a lot of it's speculation. So to sit back and be like, oh, it's going to be used for this, could it be? Maybe. You know, especially, I mean, when we were talking about the metaverse and having things kind of intertwine.
Well, oh, no, we haven't discussed that. I just thought about that something. I did remark on something I was just texting. Well, like light bulbs. Did you know that the original design of the light bulb was intended to almost be able to outlive? It was supposed to be able to hold a human lifespan.
Right.
Why do the light bulbs we buy off the shelf only last 3 months now? Money.
There was an article somewhere not that long ago I actually read. It didn't have to do with money. There was something else that was I can't remember what it was. It was something in passing I just happened to see, and I can't even remember what it was now.
That's all right. Let's get back on track. Sorry.
That's going to drive me nuts, though. So, like, later I'm going to actually look into that. Because I'm laying in bed, I'm going to be like, what the hell is that light bulb thing? But
I'm not
anyway,
going to sleep till I know everything.
That's pretty much what it is. That's why I send you one page of notes, and by the time the show's
There's
around,
like
I got 4 or 5. So
I'm getting hit with
and that's just in
Grammys.
like 2 days worth. Like, oh, yeah, there's this. Oh, damn. What about... Anyway. Yeah, so Sirius XM radio and
My special boy.
Dwayne Johnson now supports Joe Rogan. A year ago, he supported Joe Biden.
Well, The Rock is The Rock. He has hit his head a lot of times, so he probably mixed up the two.
Now,
Please don't kick my ass, Dwayne Johnson.
this could...
I will rub you down with baby oil before every movie scene if you need me be.
And that has nothing to do with political affiliation. That's just his dream.
Oh, yeah. Like, you wouldn't? I'll pay you $100,000 a year to come with me to every movie set
No,
and
man.
rub me down with baby oil.
No, because that would be just way too awkward. Way too awkward.
I would want eye contact the whole time.
I was going to say, what if he stares right in your eyes? But, like, he owl turns his head and looks at you as, like...
He does the smoldering look from Jumanji. Like, oh, I'm done. I'll keep rubbing
Grows
you,
the
but
mustache out and everything. Like,
It's not going to be with lotion. It's awful sticky. I know. It's a good protein, though.
yeah. I was... Yeah, so The
He
Rock...
supports Joe Rogan. Good. Good.
Dwayne...
No, but seriously, that's good. A big, powerful...
He does, and that is... I mean,
A big name
There's
like his.
There's a whole list of... Like, a massive list... From Twitter, a bunch of blue check marks of people that support Joe Rogan, and rightfully so, because honestly, he's the biggest show in all of show business right now.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. The people he gets on there, it's incredible. And plus, like I said, 11 million, on average, about 11 million views per episode he gets. Like, that's incredible.
And YouTube banned him.
They're banning episodes. He left YouTube to go to Spotify for this bigger deal.
Oh, I thought they kicked him off.
No, Spotify
that's
apparently.
stupid because of how much money they're going to lose from that.
Here's the thing with Well, he still has the JRE clips and everything that he puts on there, so that still drives people to YouTube to watch those, and they still have the old JRE episodes up. But the list that he has supporting him shows you right there a couple things. One, I think the free speech and all that is winning. Like it seems like the left is trying desperately right now to just grab at anything they can. I mean, they have this whole, I don't know if it was CNN or whoever that made the compilation of Joe Rogan dropping, and you know, someone. Well, I don't think it was CNN, but it was someone on the left getting that compilation together just to make him look bad. Who Rogan actually did respond to it. He has a video out. At first, he responded to the whole Spotify, people boycotting Spotify. He put out a 10-minute video last weekend just addressing that. He'd be like, listen, I know that people think some of the things that I have are controversial, but I've never been someone to spread misinformation. He goes, all of this podcast has ever been is to bring people on who have different opinions to formulate conversation, and then basically leave it up to everybody else to do their own research, come up with their own thing. But to give other people a voice on why do you think this way, or what have you found? But he goes, I'll try to have somebody of the opposite end of the spectrum come on immediately after, just to have, just to get the conversation going in both directions, which I get why he did that, because Joe Rogan really wants to be the person to keep the peace.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but at the same time, I watch it as a fan of Joe Rogan. I watch it. I'm like, there's really no you shouldn't have you don't have to explain yourself, dude.
Question, because you might know a little bit more of the affiliates than I do. Anderson Cooper. What news does he broadcast through?
Anderson Cooper? Oh, God, I can't even remember.
Because you said that we were talking about CNN. And made me think of this clip from the cartoon Paradise PD on Netflix. Please go watch that. Paradise PD on Netflix. Watch this.
People are not going to know. No, we can't show that because I get a copyright strike. Oh, I saw that.
Well,
that's an old one, isn't it?
There's a part, though, where as they're riding down the road, they're driving down the road to get away from the media that's tracking them. Yeah, we better do something quick, Fitz, because Anderson Cooper's going crazy, and it shows Anderson Cooper in a Gene Simmons outfit, except it's just his chest and his genitals covered, and he's playing the guitar. The flames are shooting up his tongue. It's so cool, man. I love that show. Paradise PD, folks. Check it out.
What the hell does that have anything to do with?
I just thought we were talking about newscasts.
You're going way off. You're not even on you're not even on tracks. You're on a fucking airline. I'm on the train.
We were just talking about CNN, and it made me think of news broadcasts, which rabbit hole me into Anderson Cooper in Paradise PD. That's a good show.
Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah, so he made that response to the Spotify thing, and then after the compilation video came out, he just made a response in the last day or two in regards to that, explaining the whole thing. I said it was never derogatory or whatever.
Yeah,
it was just everything's taken out. He goes, I never thought anything would be taken out of context, so I didn't really think much about it. He goes, does that make it right to say it? No, but of course he's gonna say that, even though I'm an advocate of how come it's okay for once if it's binary. It's either everyone can't or everyone can.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm sorry. If everyone wants to claim we're all human beings for this argument, but then over here it's well, you can't use it because you're not.
Here's the problem.
Are we all human or are we fucking not? Because if we're not all human, you can say it, then I can't. Then I'm sorry. There is segregation.
Well, here's the problem.
It's fucking binary.
Here's why there's still that problem. I know we've talked about it before. Remember that coworker I discussed? The black person? Who said the 100% Puerto Rican coworker we have, who was born in Puerto Rico, can't say the
N-word. White. Yeah.
Can't say the N-word because he's white. He was born in Puerto Rico. He's 100% Puerto Rican. He's not black. He's white.
That's what I mean. It's either...
The fact that you have that much of a ignorant definition of color, right there, that is why the problem still exists.
Right. The Morgan Freeman thing. Stop talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When he's on the video that's circulated so many times, you're like, how come we have Black History Month? And I was like, I don't want it. Do you want a White History Month? He's like, no. And it's like, why would you think I want a Black History Month? It's like, well, how do we make light of, or how do we get rid of racism? Whatever the hell was asked. And he goes, stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
If you stop talking about something for somebody for years on end, then you go back to him. Remember the thing? Fuck, what was it?
You're gonna forget about it. Well,
granted, this is on a huge scale we're talking about now.
Real quick for the folks at home, in case you're wondering, he wasn't trying to make that point where if you don't discuss racism, people will forget about it. No one will ever forget about the travesty that was slavery. No one ever will. But
the way it's perceived,
yes,
it's not reported on. Or taught about, well, it's taught about educationally, but it's not reported on as an event. It's reported on as an emotional response.
Yeah.
Much like most of our news. And when you do that, you're not giving people information, you're giving people clickbait, and that pisses people off. So then you create this either tribal or mob or emotional mentality thing and be like, what the fuck? And like, fuck these guys for doing or saying this thing or,
Yep.
or that way or left, right, up, down, or whatever it is, or whatever color. I went off on a tangent and I forgot what I was talking about.
Joe Rogan, explain yourself.
No, I remember where I was, but
Yeah.
but yeah, binary. It's either one or the
It's
other.
a shame he even had to go to that extent. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are glad he did.
Yeah,
but
it's damage control.
Having watched, but was it really necessary? No.
I don't think so. But again, for the people who, and that's the thing, a lot of people that come down on a show probably never fucking even watch the show.
Hell no.
I mean,
they see that clickbait and they go off the wall.
We used to say the same thing with Howard Stern when they always used to go after him back in the early 2000s. Like, how many of these people actually fucking watched the Howard Stern show back when he was good? Like, how many? Probably none of them. They had the audio clips of, this is back in 2007 or 8 when Sicko was coming out with Michael Moore. And Michael Moore was on the show. And I remember they were taking calls in, and Gary Dell'Abate patched in some calls and was letting them play out, and letting them listen on air. They were letting them listen to it. And there was this, as Gary goes, oh, we're already losing fans because Michael Moore was on. And there was recordings. This woman going, I'm just letting you know I'm canceling my subscription to Cyrus because of this anti-American you have on. It's Sirius satellite radio. So that was probably someone who got like email. They were talking like RD was like, there's probably email blasts that were sent out to a bunch of these like base people. At that time, it was people on the right, because like I've mentioned many times before, that's when the script was opposite.
The other way up.
Yeah, and they probably just called into Stern show saying, oh, we're canceling because of this guy, just to get them to panic pull the plug on Michael Moore and the show. People never probably watch a show. And same thing, fast forward to now, they've probably never seen Joe Rogan.
No.
And they're like, oh, yeah, this is compilation of all this and whatever. Or maybe not even saw that. They probably just like,
they heard what the compilation was about.
Joe Rogan, what an asshole. Let's let him know, email him or whatever the heck. Yeah, so going on with Joe Rogan, speaking of CNN, CNN claims, quote, no evidence Rogan video color was tampered with.
Oh, bogus.
We have one of our past episodes. That's one thing I did superimpose on it because that was I wanted to make it very clear what we were talking about and how the two the original video and the CNN one and how the coloration was altered so it looked like he was fucking Frankenstein. He might have been fucking Frankenstein.
He literally had a grayish tint to his skin.
He looked like he was a dying Smurf. But yeah, CNN claims, oh, we didn't. There was nothing. We didn't do anything to the video. They claim that's how they got it.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
So they probably got it from a third party who altered the video. Be like, well, we didn't do anything with it.
They probably had, hey, look, can you guys watch this video for us and tell us what you think, and then we'll air it?
Yeah. But they didn't
do it.
They didn't do anything to it.
Of course they did.
Here's probably
Sounds like I didn't do anything to you while you were sleeping.
Here's one that'll probably eventually affect you. The Great Honkening.
Oh, the convoys. Which one? Canada, DC,
Canada, but yeah, I'll get to that.
All across the fucking world.
The Canadian government is now starting to back down.
Yeah, because he's in hiding. Oh, no, sorry. The Canadian Prime Minister is in quarantine with COVID. He's not hiding.
All right. The left in Canada, pro-mandate supporters, are calling them white nationalists and racists.
When it is a very extremely mixed racial pool of color and race in this convoy. But yes, you're right. It is nothing but white nationalists and racists.
Yeah. There's people that are constantly live streaming, just going through it right now up in Canada. And I've watched them a few times.
I've watched a few.
On, I don't know if they're on Facebook. It's on TikTok every now and again.
I've seen TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
I've seen a few videos of people posting videos of themselves on YouTube in the convoy.
I guess the reports are that they're doing it all through the night.
Oh, they're around the clock.
Well, here's the thing. I guess apparently they're not.
It was. Hold on. It was during the day, but what was it? It might have had. Don't quote me on this. It might have had to do with the safety aspect of it because apparently, if I remember correctly, there may have been it may have been drawing more attention to areas where this convoy would be going through, and it was a safety issue getting these people involved. Like, come on, honk the horn, truck. So now they're doing it at night, pissing everybody off because they're waking them up throughout the night.
Well, no, what I got is there actually a lot of people were reporting that it's like, oh, they're keeping us awake at night. We can't sleep, but apparently that they're not. What's come out is be like, no, they stop honking at 10 p.m. because they're like, we're not protesting against civilians, so we don't want to like disturb them.
Yeah,
they're protesting against government.
Yeah, so
they go in there and they start honking whatever time in the morning and throughout the day until 10. Then they stop. They said that. Like I said, they were called nationalists or white nationalists and racists. But and if you've seen any of the live streams, it's not fucking all white people. They said the racist thing came from, there was, I guess, one guy with a Nazi flag that was walking around there. So, of course, it's going to make him look bad. But I guess he got kicked out by the convoy, the people in the convoy. Yeah. It's like, the fuck? Same thing with, like, the January 6th. There was, like, the white nationalists that appeared down there. And the January 6th guys are like, they're not fucking with us.
Yeah.
Same thing with the people that broke in. There's some of the people that were orchestrating getting in there, like pre-planning it, and like, that's not fucking us. Like, that's not with us.
Yeah.
That's what I guess what it is up in Canada. And they're like, this fucking asshole's not with us, and they ended up kicking him out. But because that's on there, and of course the other side, the government is going to be like, look, there are a bunch of racists up here. So, the next thing, after being given order, Mounties,
basically, I hate to cut you off really quick. So basically, the protesting was like a VD that because Canada was in front of us, we kind of passed it along to them. Sorry, Canada. You should probably get yourself tested.
No, but you know what? They're actually doing it the right way, though.
I know.
They're not breaking into anything.
No.
They're going there, peacefully protesting, annoying the shit out of them, and be like, this is why we're doing this. And there's not a fucking thing they can do about it because they're not actually breaking any laws.
Nope.
Which I'm like, that's the way you do it. That's the way it's always been done successfully throughout history. Anytime, this isn't like 1500 where you just go and ransack a village, be like, we were getting our way. Like, it's not the way it is anymore.
Yeah.
You go in, you peacefully protest, and it works. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Tiananmen Square,
which
is a huge one. The unvaxxed tax was taken down after the convoy, so they backed down on that. Mounties are backing down after they were given orders to arrest protesters.
Yep.
The Mounties said, we're not having part of that, and they just all backed down. A majority of them, anyway.
Because one of the articles I read was they were supposed to, because I have been on top of this one, they are supposed to arrest any and all parties involved, drivers and protesters alike.
Right.
As in, pull them out of the trucks, arrest them. good luck arresting a workforce of well over 10 million. In the country of Canada, their workforce is as big as ours. And their driving workforce is as big as ours.
You know, the point that was brought up on Tim Pool is it's a perfect cover, because if you're at the convoy and let's say like Mounties did come up to your truck and be like, try to arrest you for being in the convoy, all you have to do is say, listen, I'm just trying to drive through this thing and I'm just stuck, much like all the other people. What are they going to arrest you for being stuck?
I've been stuck in traffic with the truck and trailer, and I'm telling you right now, it sucks.
The next thing is the arrangement. I've heard, maybe there's small pockets, but as far as a big one, I haven't heard anything actually happening yet. But there is an arrangement from a convoy happening in the States. It's supposed to be going from Cali to DC.
Yes.
My question, are you going to do it?
So
you're on amateur record.
no, hey, professionals, whatever you want to call us, small time, doesn't matter.
You and your company, because you get my fucking support 100% if you do,
so,
and I'm sure millions of other people too.
Here's what a lot of people are misunderstanding. Unfortunately, it is not an entire workforce. The majority of these protesters,
they're independent
owner-operators.
Oh, yeah. That's what I figured.
And that makes up a huge portion of the driving workforce.
Yeah, for sure. My uncle was that for a while.
Unfortunately, and I say that with all due sincerity, unfortunately, my company has made it a clear standpoint for our sistering terminals in that area.
So you guys did bring it up. I figured they'd already brought it up.
It was a point made out of word of mouth.
Right.
Nothing was ever official. Nothing was on record.
Yeah.
But comments were made like, hey, it is a good. It's good to see the workforce united like that, but unfortunately we can't have involvement.
Right.
So, if you guys want to talk about it, that's fine. But you really can't be like, yeah, I'm going to take the truck and go. Because as a company...
Are you in union?
No, we are not union. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know anything about unions to say that. Probably a good thing, probably a bad thing. I don't know.
I'm in a union now, so...
But it's the owner-operators. And I'm telling you right now, that's...
They have plenty of drivers to do.
If you look at it this way, if you put all of the companies into a human body, we're just the basic organs.
Right.
The owner-operator portion of it, that's your fucking heart.
Right.
That's your heart. You take that out, you shoot that down, you stab that, you try to kill that beast, you're killing the whole body.
So when are you going to drop a few $100,000 and get your own truck? And
There's
probably a lot of money to be made there. But.
Okay, real quick, let's do a little bit of this one. Real fast, just for my own fun. An owner-operator, on paper, yes, a lot of money. A lot of money. I actually have a close friend that lives in one of our neighboring states who is an owner-operator. And this gentleman makes about $5,000 a week.
Right.
A week. Oh, I would touch dudes' butts.
Drive them nuts.
There is a cream. I'd touch them. There is a cream for $5,000 a week. I'm telling you right now.
The commercial has a whole new meaning now.
But so someone like me, I bring home a good weekly paycheck. Someone like them, they bring home an outstanding, amazing paycheck. Outstandingly amazing paycheck. But you got to think, too, they're paying their own fuel. They're paying their own tolls. They're paying their own maintenance. They've got to get a slew of permits.
But there's probably a lot of write-offs you have at the end of tax season. Or at least you'd probably do it quarterly then. But
yes and no. So the way it works is from the business standpoint of it, a lot of that stuff is business expense, but it's not like a tax write-off.
Right.
It's like the tools you buy for the truck.
Right.
Now it's a tax write-off. The permit you buy for the truck, that's not.
Right.
because you need that permit. That's a DOT thing. That's not a personal thing.
Right.
Like my boots, my gloves, I can use those as tax write-offs. I don't have to have them to work in the truck. I like to have them in the truck. But like the road flares, the road triangles, the placards, if I buy those, the company buys them.
Right.
That's it.
The one thing up in Canada is there were, I don't know if it was government entities, I'm assuming, were calling around basically getting quotes from tow companies to tow these trucks out of there. And the tow companies back down because...
Wait a minute. I'm a little confused. Hold on. Some of my information may have been a little construed. I will do the details and start digging. I will do the detailed digging and get you all the facts on how an owner-operator functions.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, good luck with that. Because I don't know about Canada. I know in America, owner-operators can carry.
Oh.
I don't know about Canada. I know as a company driver myself, I can't carry.
They have stricter gun laws than we do, but the tow trucks, they basically backed down because probably some of them were like, well, we're truck drivers too, so they're just participating. But I guess from what I gather, a majority of them, the tow companies have contracts with a lot of these trucking businesses and truck drivers. So now they're put in positions like, do we go in there for the government and tow these guys, or do we basically sabotage our deals with these companies and take them out and possibly lose?
My company has dedicated tow services.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, on a country standpoint, hell, just in the neighboring states, all the terminals I've driven to, I'm telling you, I've seen in just my experience with the one company that I've been with, I've seen probably about 500 different trucks. And I say that in the sense of...
Business-wise? You mean businesses or company-wise?
No, just my company.
Oh, your
I've
company.
seen 500 different trucks.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Within my company.
Right. Yeah, so now like, you lose one... And how big are they?
We're country. We're around the world. I think we're around the world. We do have... we're not around the world. We fly.
We're different places.
We fly, we ship, we boat. But... that's not our name on the airplane. It's not our name on the boat.
Right.
Our name is on the trucks.
Right.
Our name moves it. And I mean, we own sister companies. We have a couple of companies that work for us.
Point being is that would be one business. That would be a contract loss, which is good money.
If we cut contracts with
whoever,
whatever two services we use, they'd probably go under. You're talking about trucks that get pulled not every day, but every bill is probably close
it's a good
to
money. Maybe not go under, but it would definitely probably make a big difference in their pocketbook.
Hurt.
So yeah, these businesses, I guess, are basically saying, no, we're not going to do it. Which just again makes the convoy look that much better,
sure.
Because they'll be like, no, we're not. So it just makes, at the very least, makes them look the whole freedom's winning, which is good.
Good.
This whole thing up there, I mean, all over the world, but especially right now in Canada, I got
Can't spell free without dumb people. Freedom. That's a terrible joke.
This is making like classic liberals and post-libertarian, because now like liberals are pegged as this new woke movement thing. So you have to, if you're saying, well, I'm liberal, you're saying either, and you're not like, I'm liberal, but I'm not part of this whole woke thing and all this extreme left thing. It's like, well, I'm classic liberal, or I'm post-libertarian, and conservatives are all finding common ground now because of all this, because either they're for freedom, constitutional rights, or they're just against heavy. Classic libertarian is very much small government. That's what it's always been. It's about small government involved in decision making. That's why there was, classic liberals are for abortion, because the government shouldn't have any say in what decisions I make or whoever makes for their body.
You pregnant?
Yes, was anyway. But yeah, so like these normally two opposing sides, not like horribly, are now finding common ground in this whole bullshit thing going up in Canada, which is interesting. So, like I said before, when Biden's like, now this has to do with America, not Canada, but Biden made the comments like, we're going to bring America together, and now he's fucking up so bad, and everything else around us fucking up so bad. He's bringing the country together, but not in his favor.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. So then I'm like, again,
Let's go, Brandon.
What if that was the whole like ploy? And we're like, we need a figure that's hated so much beyond Trump, even that everyone's like, yo, this guy's got to go.
Real quick, did you hear? Because you got me thinking about it with the whole, are you pregnant? Did you let her know? Did you hear about that one in the news? It was not too long, within the last year. The man that gave birth to a baby so the mother could breastfeed. And the mother breastfeeds. So it was a woman who was transitioning.
Woman, man, woman thing?
It was, yeah.
Wasn't it the one where the
mother was
trying to remember which one. Yeah, but they were crying because like the DC, it was born. They were the baby or the couple or whatever is in DC, Washington DC, and DC's law is like we have to pick a gender for the child, and DC like makes you pick, and they can't leave
the name until
And they were crying, it's like, I want the baby to choose for, or something along those lines. Is it that couple?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably like 6 months ago or so.
The man was a woman transitioning, gave birth, and the woman was a man who was streaming, trying to breastfeed the child.
Just poor kids getting sweat, like nipple sweat and everything off the fucking, like, that kid is...
But yes, there was actual video of the woman.
There's no way around it. That kid is fucked when he's older and like. I'm sorry, like if that offends it, I don't fucking care. But that kid's fucked.
Yep.
Like not even joking wise, I mean, if you want to transition to be a different sex, that's fine. But you're setting that kid to be completely fucking confused.
Oh, that child is straight up fucked. FUKD fucked.
Yeah, he's good. Like he's gonna be whatever it is gonna be
whatever that child chooses to be.
So confused when they get older as to gender role, sex, who they are, what they are. Like, oh, you can choose. You can't let a 14-year-old vote, and they can't drive, they can't buy alcohol, smoke cigarettes, but you're gonna let them choose a gender? Like, I don't get that one. But even so, boy. That poor kid.
Yeah. Apparently our live audience is texting. You spelled fucked wrong. Yeah, I know. That was part of the joke. I swear to God, this audience is dead to me. D-E-D, dead.
It's like both. It's like someone watching Beavis and Butthead trying to like, don't you know you're not supposed to hit a frog with a baseball bat?
Really? After I've already saw
both, don't they know that?
Jesus Christ.
GoFundMe.
Who's starting the GoFundMe? Kamala Harris, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
No. All right. Apparently you didn't see this one. This was as of yesterday. I think this one I heard. GoFundMe seizes money raised for the truck convoy.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. GoFundMe seized the money. I guess.
Yes, I did. That's why they were doing the whole groceries and shit. Did you see that one?
I don't think so.
There's video of up in Canada, the convoy. People are. Oh, I still have coffee.
Squirrel.
People were literally transporting from all around the country. I mean, there's one father who's got the family in the car with him, and he's crying because he's bringing the stuff to him. And he had dropped it off, and he's like, the support, it's so, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Organic?
No.
Plentiful?
It's so empowering.
Right.
To see the support that this.
It is. It's incredible watching it. You're like, wow.
Oh, dude, and the line because what they did was they did a line of them, all the supplies. And just the video I saw, it's like 70 yards, and I'm talking not even just like a few cases of water and a couple bags. No, I'm talking like 20 cases of water stacked up. There's like bags of food stacked up. It's like 3-4 feet high, 4 or 5 feet wide. I'm like, can I have some of those groceries?
It's incredible.
I'm a driver.
You greedy fucker.
Dude, fuck, I can barely. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're a driver, but you're not taking part of it. You just said it earlier in the show.
I can't. My hands are tied.
Nah, just take your truck. Don't you got a truck or something? We got my pickup. We'll go up there. I saw cars and stuff up there. I'm a truck driver, technically. I got trained on a dump truck earlier this week. That's a story in and of itself.
Oh my God.
This button does this, that button does that. Call me if you have any problems. And now I'm a truck driver.
And the first words out of my mouth were, I hope you didn't go on the road with that. Does it have air brakes? No? You're safe. Fuck it.
Yeah, no air brakes, so we're all right.
You're all good.
No, but yeah, so GoFundMe seized the funds. And I guess, to be fair, they said they can get, if you donated to that cause, you can get a refund on your money. But if you don't, they seize the funds and they're going to distribute it to charities of their choosing.
Way to fuck up again, Canada.
No, let's GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. I apologize.
Yeah.
Previous statement.
Way
to go fuck
and
things up.
It's not Canada. It's their fucking wonderful.
Go fuck me is more like it.
Yeah. So.
You think that's what they were trying to say when they created GoFundMe? Some dude drunk slurred, go fuck me. That's a great idea.
Good idea, money. I like it, you whore. So I guess the reasoning behind it was the movement has become an Occupy and has become violent. So instead of being a protest to just sit in, they're claiming it's becoming Occupy, like there was Occupy Wall Street back in 2008 or 9 or whatever it was, which was much smaller, but it was people coming together being like, listen, that was during the whole bailout.
Yeah.
When we had the economic depression. Sort of depression.
With Obama.
Yeah. And we had these massive bailouts go, and instead of people getting money, they went to these massive businesses, which squandered their funds and caused this bailout to begin with.
Yep.
So that was a huge thing. It came Occupy Wall Street. More recently was Seattle and the riots, where that is a fucking Occupy, because they just went and ransacked and they were patrolling streets, making stores pay them money to protect them. Mind you, they were the fucking same group that was causing the destruction. So that's like mafia shit right there. That's an Occupy. So GoFundMe classifies Convoy as an Occupy, even though it's just people honking their horns and then stopping evidently at night and then starting back up in the morning just to get a point across. That's the reasoning. Going on further with that, the Facebook group supporting truckers and basically trying to start this thing in the States was taken down, and the founder of that group was banned off Facebook completely. So again, this is like more people in positions of power trying to reach to gain control of this whole thing, when boiled down, it's just a bunch of us, fucking left, right, whatever, centrist, just saying enough is enough. And the establishment doesn't like it. So they're just, Joe Rogan's evil. He's racist. Us Occupy thing's racist. They're white nationalists.
If there's no problems
they're occupying
at hand, there's no way, people don't need the control by the government.
Right. And they're scrambling to get control. And like I said before, that means this whole thing's working perfectly. Keep peacefully protesting.
Yeah.
Don't do the mostly peaceful bullshit thing. Like, get up, do whatever you're doing, get out there. You want change, make it happen.
Yep.
Martin Luther King did it, and apparently Occupy's doing it too. Or not Occupy Wall Street, whatever it is. The Convoy. Who's occupying? Evidently.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Going off the Convoy thing, though, the Black Lives Matter money that was raised for them,
I
guess is now unaccounted for.
Of course. Because all that money that was supposed to go to those groups to support their cause, all of a sudden after the election, the groups went away.
I guess the people that were supposed to be in charge of it are nowhere to be found, something to that matter. Let me look here. It says 60 million bankroll, shocking lack of transparency. The webpage not available. Look at that. I saved this and now it's not available.
Yeah.
From what I gather, the owners or whoever got the money here, they weren't able to be found, and the address to where. All right, yeah, there we go. No one appears to have been in charge at Black Lives Matter for months. The address it lists on tax forms is wrong. Apparently, they went to this address where these that were on the tax forms, and there's nothing there. Like, nothing exists. The charity's 2 board members won't say who controls its $60 million bankroll. BLM's shocking lack of transparency surrounding its finances and operations raises major legal and ethical red flags. BLM is supposed to be nonprofit, and they had all this money to do whatever. They get, funding. Again, GoFundMe. That was a big thing in BLM. And now the money's just completely unaccounted for. Like a giant ghost ship full of treasure drifting in the night with no captain. Yeah. Oh, here we are. The co-founders appointed 2 activists to serve as the group's senior directors following her resignation in May amid scrutiny over her personal finances. Both quietly announced in September they never took the jobs due to disagreements with BLM. They told the Washington Examiner they don't know who now leads the nation's most influential social justice organization. So now the people that they said were running the thing are saying, no, we're not running it. We declined it. So basically it looks like they're just being pointed in multiple directions all at the same time.
Well, according to this article that I just found, the number originally was at... Hold on one second. Almost $90 million. 20, almost $22 million of it so far has gone into developing the infrastructure, funding of official and unofficial Black BLM chapters,
right,
and Black-led or local organizations, et cetera,
which is what it should go to.
But there's still the $60 million.
Yeah, $60 million unaccounted for. And it's been said, this is way before all this, they're I don't remember where I heard it, but the guy that runs, or whoever runs BLM, he has like a mansion worth like $5 or $6 million or something like that.
Quote, unquote. Hold on a second. This is from apnews.com. Where did I just see that? Hold on one second. One of our... Oh, hold on one second. I just read a... hold on. This is crazy. I just read something that made me laugh in my head.
Yeah, so like I was saying, so it looks like, at least for the Washington Examiner, they're trying to, as they're searching for all this shit, they're just getting pointed in multiple directions.
Oh, here
so
it is.
they go...
Quote, unquote, sorry to cut you off, quote, unquote, because the BLM movement was larger than life, and it is larger than life, people made very huge assumptions about what our actual finances looked like, Colors said. We were often scraping for money, and this year was the first year where we were resourced in the way we deserve to be. So in 2020, they raised $90 million, and they were scraping to get by, but 2021, they had the money they deserved.
Yeah, well, no, all that means, that statement right there, is they might have been scraping by for all the years prior to that, but when all these riots and I keep wanting to say Rodney King, what's his name? The reason this whole thing started.
George Floyd?
Yeah. When that happened, every business and celebrity was throwing chunks of change at him left and right. So now they have all this money coming in. And for them to go out and say, it's like, well, we're taking the money we deserve, or whatever the hell they say, I'm just like super paraphrasing it. Like, it's supposed to be nonprofit. You can't just take funds out of your nonprofit organization and steal that. I'm pretty fucking sure that's an offense.
From what, that's why, like, maybe I'm reading it wrong, because I know the BLM movement has been around for the last 7 to 10 years, I think.
I think it's been around longer than that.
It's come to light much more in the last 7
maybe
to 10
been
years.
like,
and I get it. Like you said, in the beginning, they may have been scraping by. But for that colors person to sit there and say, in this last year, we've finally had the money we deserved, when in 2020, they raised $90 million almost.
Yeah.
So what happened to 2020? I mean, what were they doing in 2020? Scraping by? No, they weren't scraping by.
That's what I mean. They might have been scraping by before that, before the George Floyd riots and all that shit. But as soon as George Floyd happened, all these businesses threw cash at them. They got this huge amount of money coming in because everybody, from big businesses and celebrities, like I said, right down to like your neighbor or some shit. It's like, oh yeah, I'll give you $20 or whatever the hell. Now they have this huge influx of money coming in. For them to, like I said, for them to say, well, we deserve this money. All right, you have $60 million that are unaccounted for, and like I said, your tax forms, the address on it, well, we went there, and there's fucking nothing there. Well, these two people are supposed to be in charge. Okay, so you go there and be like, well, you two are head of finances and supposed to be in charge of this BLM thing. What's going on? It's like, we didn't fucking take the job. We were offered it whenever the date was, but we didn't take it. So now there's just a bunch of open ends, untied loose ends. Be like, well, where the fuck is all this? Where is everybody and where's all the money? It's nonprofit. What the fuck?
How many people live in America?
320, almost 330 million. I think it's 327, 328 and change.
Calculator time.
What are you looking for? I think it'd be like, what, 50 grand a person?
$200.
Or no, it'd be 5,000.
If there's 300 million people living in America, they could literally write a check to everybody for $200.
I want $200.
I want $200.
Yeah.
But we're not black, so it's okay. We don't get the money. We don't deserve it. In all honesty, I'm going to say that sincerely. If that money, if they wanted to, let's say that, well, here's what we're going to do with the $60 million. We're going to give it in restitutions. Okay, fine. Great. Write a check to every black person, either biracial or full black. Write a check to them.
Sure.
If that money was raised for the Black Lives Matter...
That's the whole movement, and it's all...
Boom. There you go. That's what you do with the $60 million. You've already spent $30 million developing your infrastructure and your organization, and have given money to create other outlets. If you still have $60 million, let's say there's half that. Okay, let's say there's $60 million. Here we go, real quick. Calculator, $60 million. Let's say there's 100, out of 300 million Americans, 150 million of them are black. Let's just do that math.
I think it's like, what is it, 30 or 25, 27, 33%? Something like that.
So, okay. So...
Whatever, what number
we'll
do you
use
got?
100 million.
All
30%. Right. We'll use that. Hold on. Come on. At 100 million black people in America, let's say, divide that 60 million, they would each get a check for $600. Now, does that give them the restitutions that I'm sure a lot of people feel they deserve? Who knows? There's no number you can put. There's no number you can put on making somebody feel better. Somebody could be, I'm sorry for what happened in history, and they're happy with it.
Yeah, sorry. Other people
be,
need, I need millions.
Exactly. But how much better would, especially all the negative PR that the BLM movement did get, and they did get some negative PR.
Some. There was, I mean, clearly the people that were supporting him not, but there was Joe Schmoes sitting back watching what was happening, in LA and somewhat around the country, but mostly in Seattle, and be like, what the fuck is this?
But what I'm saying is, even if it's $600 an individual, $600, if the BLM movement went and cut that check to across the country, you mean to tell me it wouldn't raise a few eyebrows and go, huh, you know what? BLM did have some negative PR, but maybe this might be something I could get involved with now that I see what they're trying to do.
You don't even have to be involved with it. You could just see, I wouldn't get involved with it, but I would just see it and wouldn't even be that and be like, all right, well, at least we know where it is now. Moving on.
Well, no, I think that, yes, that would be a great thing to know. That the money that was raised, the problems that came from this, all of this situation.
It wouldn't be a second thought at all.
But I think for a lot of people, it would give them that assurance that they could see that the movement did have an effect.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It wouldn't be like, what the fuck? It would just be
I mean, I don't think
they're doing what they're
supposed to. Move on. No, you know what? The Black Lives Matter. Keep it around then. Because now you see what they're about. Now you see what they're willing to do. Now you see where they're going. You may get more people to jump on that bandwagon. I'm not saying let's recruit 100 million more members for the Black Lives Matter movement. Whatever. You want to be part of it, be part of it. You don't want to be part of it, don't be part of it. But if you know that there's a charity organization or infrastructure, whatever, some sort of company like UNICEF, Salvation Army, Make-A-Wish Foundation, you see the effects of it. It shows that there's progress. And that's good. That's what I think will also help. I think that would genuinely help unify a lot of people. Just seeing progress. Sorry.
But then, you know what, I just, looking at this whole thing and thinking back of what Morgan Freeman said.
You're not discussing racism anymore.
The BLM, isn't that Black Lives Matter? Isn't that, I mean, we're talking about police brutality, but that whole thing boils down to racism. And now going with what Morgan Freeman said, if that was the way we went, then BLM wouldn't even exist. It's too many things counter each other.
Yeah. Shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, the world's too hard.
Can I get a Cliff Notes version of How to Live? I'd really like to know what to do for the next 20 years.
GTA.
Metaverse.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. New York State appealing the indoor mask mandates. Possibly. It's being appealed right now.
Yeah.
In court. I guess while it's being appealed, we're obviously still going to have the indoor mask mandates hold up. Apparently every 2 weeks they're going to revisit it. But the question is are they actually going to appeal it? Because I'm like, I think they will. This is at work. I had this conversation. I'm like, I think they will. Because everyone's, like I've said before, teachers, parents, students, people, just a majority of people are just over it. Like, I'm done with it. But then it was brought up at my job. Someone was like, that's a lot of money lost.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was looking at boxes of masks. You know how much those masks, surgical masks, not N95s, just a regular, you know how much a box costs?
No.
$1,800. N95s? Oh, N95s, yeah. N95s are $1,800. A regular surgical mask, a box of those are $900. I don't mean like the one box that they come in. I mean like an actual case.
Where it's got like 30 or 40 boxes in each case.
Regardless, $1,800. And a lot of these businesses, schools, and everything else, they have boxes on hand.
Boxes.
Yeah.
Not a box, they have boxes.
Now, granted, they probably get funding for it, or at least a write-off later, or credit.
Somebody's got to pay that bill to
We are. So with that argument, like that is a lot of money lost, and also it's a lot of money that would be lost for surgical or whoever manufactures these masks that are pumping them out. They're getting paid big money to do it. Like, man, that's a lot.
I'm sure it generated
income.
quite a good sized workforce.
You know what?
Sure.
You know
what
what
sucks?
It's interesting is the amount of trash it's generated. All the masks. I mean, how many masks do you see just laying around the parking lots, streets, everywhere?
I can count, in my profession, I can count easily 50 masks, and I'm talking 50 fresh masks.
You don't even have to be in a. You can just drive downtown here.
Yeah.
Just go down and you'll see some. You'll see a handful of them. There was a number. You know how many masks are estimated to be floating in the ocean right now, and we're all about saving sea life. Take a wild gander.
100 million.
4 billion. 4 billion masks. Roughly 4 billion masks that's made to be floating around in the ocean right now. And mind you, like I said, we're all about saving sea life. And we want to make sure you clip your 6-packs of soda, the little plastic things, so duckies don't get stuck in them.
And make sure you do not let your straws end up in the ocean, because it ends up in a turtle's nose.
Yeah. Cokeheads.
That's why their eyes are always so wide.
But
They just did a big old fat line of coke.
But masks don't count. Because like George Carlin said, masks help us. So everything underneath that, fuck them.
Jesus.
It's all about self-preservation. It's not it's not about saving the
Everything
world. It's about it's about preserving our habitat. Our habitat, not everything else.
Jesus Christ.
Just self-righteous BS. 4 billion masks supposed to be.
4 billion. That's fucking insanity, dude.
Yeah. So when it comes to our health and moreover our health, money, the price of the mask and everything.
Well, that's why apparently we can still test things on animals. I always thought in the late 90s that shit was abolished.
No.
Animal testing.
No.
You can't put makeup on them, but you can inject viruses into them.
Certain types of animal, like you can't like do this evident Fauci thing that he's like the maximum.
How about dolphins?
Things.
Can we test on dolphins?
Dolphins don't count. They're fuckers.
No. You know what's really fuckers? Killer whales. They're the ones that kill shit for fun.
They're evil sons of bitches.
They are the fuck you of God's humor to the ocean life.
No, I think the fuck you is dolphins because they fuck.
No.
Just for fun.
No, killer whales are, like there's videos.
No, they fuck up things.
Yeah. They'll bat a sea lion up 50 feet into the air, let it die, and then
don't let it hit the ground.
And then it'll just swim away. You know how they'll just float there dead. And it's how this
is getting dark and morbid. But you know how kids like play the balloon game where they don't let it hit the ground. They run. I mean, even I do it still with my daughter. It's fun. Killer whales do that shit with seals.
Seals, yes, not sea lions. Seals.
Yeah, sea lions if they're massive.
That's why he hasn't done any fresh music in a while. He's been getting battered around the ocean by killer whales.
That's true.
I miss you, Seal. Like a
kiss from a rose. It's the only song he's ever put out.
Oh, Batman 3.
Forever, yeah.
Yep, Batman Forever.
Biden now focuses on ending cancer.
Oh, that's messed up. Hold on.
What?
That's just... I checked the live audience. Did some research. There's reports. There's medical... There's oceanography reports or whatever they're called of dolphins actually, like multiple male dolphins will kind of in an essence kidnap a female dolphin. Like they'll kind of swarm them, like, and then they'll all take turns doing things to that female dolphin.
Dolphins are whores.
Well, it's like the old research study goes. 4 out of 5 people enjoy gang rape.
Yeah, and 1 out of 5 have herpes.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. If that's true about dolphins, dolphins are really fucking bad. They're as bad. They're like the uncle who's a pedophile of the ocean.
Well,
they're like the Catholic priest of the ocean. That's what it is.
Was it lions? I think lions. I think it's lions. quote me, will fuck up the young of a female lion, of a lioness, just to get them to fuck again. I don't think, maybe it's not lions. There's an animal that does that. It's like just so the animals get back in heat and they can fuck. It's animals are fucked. We're fucked. We're animals. Whatever. Anyway,
that's fucked up.
So
I'm gonna kill your infant so that you're in a mood to do it again. Yeah. Anyway, so Biden is on like record now of going after, apparently trying to attack cancer. Hold on.
Because, can I get on the next fucking point? What now?
Dolphins will also scare pufferfish to make them inflate, bite them just to get high.
I don't give a shit about dolphins.
Dolphins are stoners. Yeah, man, that's why they're always. Sorry, Biden attacks cancer. Fucking stoner dolphins.
I hate our fans.
Good. So, Biden attacked cancer? What?
Yeah, punched it right in the facial.
What's this? I haven't heard anything about this.
You didn't hear about the dolphin that had cancer and he punched him? No, so
it's all that THC treatments he's been trying.
That fucking pufferfish. Anyway, so
puff puff pass.
Yeah, that's right. That's where the saying came from. We're never gonna get on the next.
No, we're not. So wait, I'm confused.
No, Biden, I guess this week is talking about going after. He basically gave up his war against COVID. I think that's why a lot of these things are starting to lax. There's a lot of countries that are just dropping mandates left and right. The whole thing, mandates, masks. They're like, oh, fucking.
Yeah, let's get it done and over with.
So now, I mean, obviously, you can't. There's a whole Ukraine thing and that fiasco, the war.
Yeah,
but you also have to have a health war. That's like the rule of every administration. So COVID, they're losing horribly, and really, I mean, just like the flu and everything else, it's dangerous for a certain group of people. Mm-hmm. But for the majority of people, we're living proof. You'll get sick and then you'll get over it.
Yeah.
So now he's got to attack something else. So we're going back on cancer. There was something that was brought to my attention, though. I was looking at some articles when I was reading the article about Biden saying there's one thing we can kill is cancer. And I'm just that right there. I'm like, clearly, because, we've only been battling it for how many decades? And it's just that easy. What was brought to my attention, though, was, and this again is from ncbi.nlm.nih.gov.
Okay, .gov. So there you go. It's government federally regulated website.
Talking about ivermectin, a potential anti-cancer drug derived from an anti-parasitic drug.
Wait a minute. Isn't that a dewormer medication?
Yes. Says here, again, nih.gov.
.gov.
Ivermectin is a microlab antiparasitic drug with 16 membrane ring that is widely used for the treatment of many parasitic diseases such as river blindness, scabies, they have a whole list of a bunch here.
Yeah.
Nobel Prize winners in psychology, they're talking about the people, oh boy, I'm gonna completely obliterate this.
Let me see the word, really quick. I just want to see the word.
Satoshi Amura and William C. Campbell won the 2015 Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine for the discovery of the excellent efficiency of ivermectin against parasitic diseases. Recently, ivermectin has been reported to inhibit the proliferation of several tumor cells by regulating multiple signaling pathways. This suggests that ivermectin may be an anti-cancer drug with great potential. So again, maybe, but here we go. Here we reviewed the related mechanisms by which ivermectin inhibit and develop the development of different cancers and promote programmed cell death. And then they go through. Now, I'm not going to read through this whole thing because I don't know if you can see, and you're probably not going to be able to, but the fucking article just goes and goes and goes and goes.
Jesus.
It's massive, but I wanted to read that part. The fact that he now goes after. This is one of two things. Now he's saying we're going to attack cancer, and ivermectin was immediately brought to my attention. I'm like, wait, what's this? And I went through. I'm like, either
ahead of the curve.
Either his administration is ahead of this curve and be like, ivermectin, we're going to use it for our good to put it in a positive light, or he's fucking stupid. It's like, didn't you just battle ivermectin and the whole narrative was horse dewormer?
Yep.
And now this is here, and this is again a federal fucking website. Which is it?
Don't take ivermectin, whatever it is,
yep,
to help with the COVID symptoms and or virus altogether.
Right.
But take it to get rid of cancer.
So his statement that he's going after cancer now, which, again, like I said, I initially saw that, and I'm like, so you go after a common cold, you can't fuck that up. So now we're going to go after this monster that they've worked on for decades. Like, oh, I'll get that. All right.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Maybe it's a David and Goliath story, but I don't know.
Wouldn't that be something? Biden fucks up all of his administration until like the last few months, or then all of a sudden, here's a cure for cancer. What if cancer disappears?
What if that's their ploy? Boy, we're fucked. We're going to have to release this cure. Otherwise, we're fucked.
We're still on one ace in the hole. Cancer.
Damn it.
Like, well, that beats my straight.
Well played. Well played.
Touche, Biden.
And Biden's back in 2024. They'll drop it in 2023. It's only like little seeds being planted right now, but late 2022, early 2023, boom, cure for cancer. Oh, I did it.
It was me. I already said it.
True, relax under pressure.
Yeah. It was really what he was trying to say was, true, I've always had the cure for cancer.
I'm going to get a
It sounds like it too.
Yeah, I'm going to get a t-shirt that says that, whatever it is, however you spell it. But anyway, so yeah, that's ivermectin and whatever. Oh. Whoopi Goldberg believes the Holocaust wasn't about race. Was that a sensual or my head hurts?
That was there's so much blood flowing to my aroused penis right now that I'm getting a headache from lack of blood flow and oxygen to my brain.
That's weird, Holocaust.
And she doubled down. First, so hold on. Here's what happened. She makes the comment on The View about how it's not about race. And, you know, I watched that video, and to see her, like, try to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
How it's not about race. It's about the inhumanity of towards people.
People treating each other bad.
Because, quote unquote, the Jewish people were an inferior race according to Hitler.
They were a dirty race according to the Nazis and Hitler. It was
he
a filthy...
verbatim said it because they are an inferior race. They need to be removed.
And wasn't the idea for Hitler creating a master race? I mean, granted, yes, there were blacks, there were gays, and there were other ethnicities during the Holocaust, but 6 million of them were Jewish.
Dude, no, there's numbers out of over 11 million.
Maybe altogether,
yeah. Jewish people, and that was what was on record. That's not including like the massive burial sites where it was reported that 1,000 Jewish people were killed at this one camp. But when they dug up the graves, there was like 10,000 corpses.
Yeah.
So that number could be easily 20 million.
So conservatively, we'll say 6 million. But either way, I mean, if it was 1 million, who the fuck cares? There's still a million fucking people.
Well, and then, okay, so then I remember seeing the article where she goes on to say, hey, look, I apologize. I meant no insensitivity.
I did see that.
About that,
video, yeah.
You know, the Holocaust was a travesty. You know, I meant no offense by it or whatever. But then she went on Colbert.
That I didn't see.
She went on Colbert, the Colbert Report, and doubled down. And that's when
her apology?
And that's when I believe the remark about, well, it was white on white. It wasn't white on black.
Yeah, that was another thing too. Was white on white. Now
she said that on the Colbert Report.
Let's rewind.
I believe it was the Colbert. Hold on.
Rewind 100 years, and we talked about this on the critical race theory thing. Yep. Italians weren't white. Irish wasn't white. Jews weren't white, obviously, back in World War II in the 40s, 30s and 40s.
And there's a statement from one of our fucking presidents that, like I've said before, one of our presidents during the whole immigration era said the problem with America wasn't the blacks, wasn't the Asians, wasn't this, wasn't that. It was the Italians. And the only way to make America a better place was to get rid of them before they even set foot off the boat.
Right.
Never has a race ever been said, the problem with this country is this specific race. Get rid of them. Hitler said something similar, but that was about the Jews being an inferior race.
Yeah, I did see the thing where she made the thing. This is a white on white thing, and that comparison's been made a lot. They're like, well, white on white in today's day and age, yeah, it was white on white because now everyone can, like, if just grouped together. I mean, unless you're filing federal papers like tax returns, like, are you Caucasian, are you Italian, or whatever it is, we're all lumped together as white,
Asian
which
people,
is fine, whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But back then, it clearly all over the board, it wasn't like Italian and Irish were not white and white. It was Italian and Irish, and you're a different race.
Spanish, Italian, Puerto Rican, Irish, Asian, English, you know.
I think
Dutch,
English was really the only white.
Russian. It wasn't a skin color. It was it was a nationality.
Right.
That's what you were.
What's your whole? I mean, the View suspended her for 2 weeks. What's your whole take on that?
Get rid of her. The fact that she's a lot. Okay, Sarah Silverman did a skit on some comedy show. It was sketch comedy. And till today, the minute I heard about this, my brain instantly went back to it. Sarah Silverman was okay to make the joke on a sketch comedy skit to a black waiter because she's at this restaurant or whatever. It might have been a movie. I'm not 100% sure. She made some bit in some televised broadcast about sitting at the table, a black waiter comes up or a black man walks by or something like that, and she's talking about the Jewish Holocaust, and her and this black character get into the discussion about, well, we had slavery. Yeah, we also, like, 11 million people died. 11 million, or whatever number she gives, died. We know about something. Well, we had hundreds of years of slavery.
Right.
Yeah. And the whole bit is them going back and forth about who had it worse.
It's like a dick measuring contest for
Sarah Silverman talking about the Holocaust being worse for the Jews than slavery was for the blacks.
Right.
And that's okay in a comedic sense. And now with everything going on, Whoopi Goldberg is only suspended for 2 weeks because she made a comment about the Holocaust not being about race, and then doubling down later and saying it's not racist because it was white on white. No, get rid of her. They fucking bounced Kelly Osbourne because I remember she made some comments about abortion or so. I don't remember 100%. Some standpoint she had. Was it Kelly Osbourne or was it the girl from the Roseanne show?
Roseanne?
No.
She made off-color jokes.
The daughter?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It wasn't Kelly. I know who you're talking about, though.
It was it was Kelly Osbourne or her. The daughter, the girl who played the brunette daughter.
Yeah.
In Roseanne.
Right.
There was one of those two characters that made comments on some standpoint in regards to something, and boom, they were kicked right off the show. It wasn't even. I don't even know what it was about. But it was just comments of an opinion, I believe.
But I know Roseanne.
Oh yeah,
she was also the same thing. She got kicked from her own show.
Yeah,
because she made off color comments.
Oh, it was a racist remark. It really was.
But she's a fucking comedian. That's what they do.
And that's
I don't think they should get rid of her.
I do. I do, because to have somebody with that point of a view, that stern, that committed of a point of view on something as serious as the Holocaust, sorry, you can't. That's no. You're literally saying it's okay now. By them allowing her to be on The View, she's literally propagating Nazism.
I don't, and I'll tell you why. You remember Gina Carano? From Carano, from The Mandalorian. Gina Carano's her name.
I've always heard it.
You can double, triple, and quadruple check that one. No, Gina Carano.
I always thought it was Serrano.
From The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
She got booted.
She was also in Deadpool 1.
Right.
Angel.
She got booted by Disney for making a comparison of the mandates and people that were pro-mandate coming down on the people that were against the mandates, and how the basically media was portraying people like us who were like, I'm not for vaccination mandates and this and that, as being dirty and this and that, and anti-vaxxer or whatever, and making everyone else look at us like we're inferior or whatever. And she compared it to the Holocaust. To me, harmless. Just making a comparison. It's like, look, they made neighbors back in the 30s of Germans, and even other Jews point out the other people, like, look at these assholes, like, come and get them.
Yeah.
And really extreme comparison, but fair comparison. Disney booted her. She got banned off different social media platforms. I think she's still on Twitter. But the big argument was, well, that was her freedom of speech. Now you're attacking freedom of speech. You're attacking the First Amendment by her having this idea. You don't like it, and you just kick her off everything, and she gets fired from her job. Fast forward, now we have the Whoopi Goldberg thing. Same thing. She has an opinion, albeit stupid, but she has this opinion, and now, again, this is a binary thing. If you're gonna believe in freedom of speech, you either...
It's good for everybody or it's good for nobody.
Yeah. But in saying that, even though Disney got rid of Gina Carano, Disney owns ABC, and The View is on ABC. So Disney, again, owns them. So this is the same company. It's like, listen, Disney, this comes down on Disney. It's like, listen, if you're going to fucking fire Gina Carano for basically roughly making the same kind of comparison using the Holocaust and Nazis.
She made a comparison. Whoopi Goldberg made a statement of opinion that she did not believe the Holocaust was about race.
Even so, First Amendment.
All Gina Carano did was make a comparison to the way people are treating anti-vaxxers, anti-mandates. And that's all she did. She didn't say anything about it being about race.
In her opinion. Now, I completely support Gina Carano and still do. But again, her opinion.
But that's just it. You're going to ban Gina Carano from everything, get rid of Whoopi Goldberg.
That's what I mean. But again, if you believe in the First Amendment,
I do believe in the First Amendment.
Then you don't get rid of Whoopi Goldberg.
Then they shouldn't have gotten rid of Gina Carano.
I agree.
They should allow her back.
But that's the thing, is if that happens and they keep Whoopi Goldberg, great, First Amendment works. What about Gina? And now everyone's going to look at Disney and be like, make a move.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to pick and choose, that just makes Disney look like shit, like CNN.
Yeah.
Like Chris Cuomo, like that whole spiel with that's another thing, the Chris Cuomo thing. But that's I didn't even have notes on that.
We'll do another podcast and talk about that.
But yeah, if you are a First Amendment and you believe in freedom of speech, then you don't get rid of Whoopi. You don't have to like her opinions, but just like with this Gab Twitter kind of thing, the Gab app, the Gab whatever website, you can have white nationalists on it. As long as they're not promoting like violence against somebody, they allow it. Why? Because freedom of speech. You may not like what they say, but it's their right to say it.
I'm not saying Whoopi shouldn't be entitled to her opinion. I'm not saying she shouldn't be allowed to state her opinion. Do I support her opinion?
I know what you're saying. You're going to get rid of Gina, so get rid of Whoopi.
Exactly.
Right. And I get that, but at the same time, as to me, if you do that, well, now you're still attacking First Amendment right. Because now you're saying, I don't like your opinion, fuck off.
But
again, it should be binary. It should be like, you're either going to do this or you're not going to do this. Like, what are we doing? And there's fucking, the lines are blurred everywhere.
Either let Whoopi stay and bring Gina back, or Get rid of Whoopi because you got rid of Gina.
Yeah. And but what seems to be happening is they're just, now this is still early. And last I knew, I don't know, maybe it's different now, or maybe by the time this goes out, it'll be different. She was suspended 2 weeks, which immediately when I heard that, I'm like, oh, so Gina Carano, Whoopi Goldberg, we're going to do this and we're not going to do this. It's the same fucking thing. And especially what really like surprised me is we're under the same umbrella of Disney and we're picking and choosing here. So whatever. Now there's a few smaller things I have at the end of this. Japan looking to put someone on the moon by late 2020 or the late 2020s. And we were just talking before. A lot of people have talked about how come we haven't sent anybody to the moon and how long. And now
because
Japan's
it's not made of cheese like we thought it was.
I know, son of a bitch. Provolone,
and because it's got crabs.
Swiss provolone.
Provolone, I like provolone better.
You do. Yeah.
And it's got crabs.
But
the moon has crabs. You all saw Apollo 17 or 18.
18.
18, sorry.
It was a weird thing.
That was a good movie, actually.
It was kind of cool, yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, but Japan's looking to put someone on the moon. The whole thing, Ukraine and Taiwan, the reason why they're so vital and why America is so interested in keeping...
Do you think we're going to go to war?
I think if more people understood... Now, I roughly understand, but just from what I know, why America's so interested in Ukraine and Taiwan and keeping them away from China and Russia. Ukraine, one of the big ones... Ukraine is where we get a lot of our minerals for making microchips and shit. And it's also where they do a lot of, we've mentioned before, where they do a lot of their crypto mining. Taiwan is where they manufacture computer chips for all sorts of shit. A lot of vehicles, especially. That's where we get them. We outsource them from Taiwan. If China gets Taiwan or Russia gets Ukraine, our economy is fucked. Fukked. We don't source any of our own shit, barely anymore. That's why when Russia started moving on the borders of Ukraine, we sent over, I think it was 1,800 troops, basically on standby, and be like, don't fucking make your move.
I'm sorry, but do you... So let me ask you something. I'll make a quick joke, then I'll ask you a serious question. Have you seen their fucking military training videos? We're fucked.
Who?
Russia, Ukraine, Taiwan.
Here's the question I have to that, though. Is that what they're actually doing, or is that like propaganda kind of thing? Like, look how massive and strong we are. Because like I've said before, Russia's economy is the equivalent of our state. They have a fucking tiny... China, on the other hand, is fucking dangerous. So why Russia is so much, like, so far in our media, like, these guys are dangerous. Like, they have a fucking weak economy, though. Like, I don't think... They have a massive military, but their whole fucking economy is based in their military. If you look at the streets in Russia and, like, all their shit, it's like, they don't prosper like America's supposed to prosper anyway.
Now, all jokes aside, do you honestly, if you had to... You want to say you don't know, say you don't know. But if you had to choose yes, no, or I'm not sure, if you had to pick one of those three, do you think we're going to go to war?
I think we'd war with China. You know what? Actually, I'll say no. But not... Only because this hypothesis, or more of a theory, popped up today. And I'm like, that's a good point. It was said... it was a podcast I was listening to. They were talking about China specifically, and they were talking about how, like, our media and how we kind of mosey up to China and we outsource a lot of our shit from China. Yeah. The comment was made, what if China already won the war and the American people just aren't privy to it yet? Because one example is when John Cena's Fast and Furious 58 or whatever the hell one came out, and he made mention of, I think it was Taiwan, and how that was going to be the first country of whatever. Now, China doesn't recognize Taiwan as a country. China recognizes Taiwan as part of China. So, and China's a massive market for movies.
Yeah, it is.
John Cena went back and spoke Mandarin, apologizing to the Chinese people or whatever, for making that mistake. Oh, I was in a lot of meetings, and if I'll show you the video before you leave. It's fucking weird watching John Cena speak fluent Mandarin, apologizing for making that comment.
Peabody and Sherman, the movie had it right. Mandarin is language of the future.
It might be, but that the offhand comment was made like, well, what if China's already fucking won? I mean, look at the like kind of social Marxism bullshit that's like seeping in through our political atmosphere and everything now. How many shows have we talked about some of the weird shit that they're doing? Mandates being one. Social credit score that we've talked about being a huge one that they already have over there.
Yep.
With vaccine cards. Like if you get this, you have a social credit score which allows you to get these vehicles and houses. Now this is over there, but you can see the seeds being planted over here. So what if China already did win and they're just trying to like weasel their way and just make us basically a commu-capitalist country? Kind of like what they were. They're more communism straight now, but back in the 90s and maybe into the 2000s, they were capital, like what do they call it? Capuism or whatever the hell. It was like a hybrid of the two. And that goes along again with the the Klaus Schwab, like the 2030 initiative or whatever it's called. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Like, which is like, what's been said before. He's like a fucking Bond villain. Like, he looks like it. He talks like it. He talks about this shit like it.
I don't know.
We don't. Would we go to war? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. But Russia isn't. I don't think it's the fucking problem. Why that's the one that's really focused in the news, I'm not entirely sure. Not without diving deep into it, but China, I think, would be the one if there was ever a squabble between two nations, and they're a massive power.
I'm going to say I hope we don't go to war.
No, because I don't know if we're geared for it, honestly.
No. Not in the state.
Maybe we are. I don't know.
Not honest. I think we're getting close to be. I think we're walking a path that it leads us to the right track, being on the right track.
I hope so. I have no idea what path that is, but
I think we're kind of blindlessly walking in the dark, trying to follow a sound, and we're kind of in the field of scope of where that sound could be coming from. So we're kind of like, here it is. We're doing this in that field of scope.
You know what that sound is? Boom!
Fuck! I ran into a door again.
And the last thing, speaking of China. The Olympics started this week.
Yes.
In China. How the fuck does
Yes.
How do they let that happen? What was that one what was it? A few months ago or something, that one tennis player, the Chinese tennis player that was outspoken against the Chinese government, and then she fucking disappeared. And then a letter was released, apparently by her, that said, "I'm okay. Things are okay. I hope our country does well in the games." And which clearly, you read the letter and you're like, "There's no fucking way this is written by her." It's like, China is good. We are good. Like, I hope my country's okay.
Like the interview with James Franco and Rogan.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, that's fucked. But
do you ever feel like like a paper bag? Just blowing in the wind. the part in the movie where James Franco and the guy playing Chow Yun-fat are singing Katy Perry.
Yeah.
They hate us because they ain't us. It's a good movie.
Oh, jeez, whatever.
I'd say good night in Mandarin, but I don't know the language yet.
Oh, John Cena does.